I never imagined that walking into a room I thought was empty would turn my entire life upside down. It wasn't even a special day, just a Saturday afternoon that should have been spent in peace. But as soon as I opened the door to the living room of our private villa, our supposed sanctuary, our dream getaway, I was hit with something I couldn't have prepared for. There they were, my husband and a woman, standing far too close to each other for my comfort, and in his hands was something that made everything I thought I knew shatter in an instant. An engagement ring. Not just any engagement ring. A beautiful, sparkling diamond that was clearly meant for her. And as I stood there, frozen in the doorway, I watched as he slipped the ring onto her finger, his face filled with something I couldn't name, but was too familiar to miss. Affection. Warmth, love. The kind of love I had once been the recipient of. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. All I could do was stare as this woman, this stranger, smiled at him like she was the one he had promised forever to. She leaned in to kiss him, and my heart broke right then and there. I didn't make a sound. I couldn't. But everything I thought I knew about my life, about my marriage, came crashing down. I backed away slowly, my heart racing as I retreated down the hallway, trying to process what I had just seen. How long had this been going on? How could I not have noticed the signs? All the trust one had built up over the years, everything we had shared, was suddenly in question. My mind went into overdrive as I struggled to figure out how to handle what I had just witnessed. Could it be a misunderstanding? Was I overreacting? I tried to convince myself that maybe it wasn't what it seemed. But no matter how hard I tried to reason with myself, the truth was undeniable. There was no denying the intimacy between them. There was no denying that I had just walked in on my husband giving a woman a ring, the kind of ring that symbolized forever. I don't know how long I sat there in the hallway, my hands shaking as I fought to catch my breath. My whole body felt heavy, like the weight of what I had just seen was suffocating me. I couldn't stay there anymore, couldn't be in that house with those memories and that overwhelming sense of betrayal pressing down on me. But I also couldn't run away. I had to confront him. I waited for what felt like hours, but in reality, it was only minutes. Every second felt like an eternity, and I couldn't shake the image of them together, the ring gleaming on her finger, her smile so wide, so radiant. Finally, I heard the soft click of the door opening, followed by footsteps. I knew it was him. David, my husband, the man I had loved and trusted for the last 8 years. I didn't even look at him when he walked into the room. I couldn't. I was still in shock, but I knew. I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't pretend that everything was fine, that everything could go back to the way it was before I opened that door. "Anna," he said softly, his voice low and hesitant, as if testing the waters. He had always been good at reading me, but I didn't think he could read me now. I didn't expect you to come back so soon." I stood up, my legs shaky, and turned to face him. His eyes searched mine, but all I could see was the man who had just betrayed me. "Who is she?" I asked, my voice steady, but my insides were screaming. "Who is she, David?" He didn't answer right away. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. For a moment, I thought he might say something that could make this all go away, that maybe it was some kind of misunderstanding. But his silence was deafening. "I'm waiting, David," I said, my voice getting sharper now. "Who is she?" He sighed and finally spoke. "Her name is Rachel," he said quietly, stepping closer to me, though I could see the hesitation in his movements. I didn't want you to find out this way. Anna, I never wanted you to find out like this. Then why did you let me find out this way? I asked, my voice breaking. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me that you've been seeing her? His eyes dropped to the floor, guilt and shame painted across his face. I don't know. I was stupid. I didn't want to hurt you, Anna. I love you. But Rachel, she came into my life at a time when I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what was happening between us. What does that mean? I asked, my mind spinning, not quite understanding. You didn't know what was happening between us. We've been together for 8 years, David. You didn't. No. He took a deep breath, stepping back as if trying to collect himself. I never meant to hurt you, Anna. It's just, I got caught up in something. At first, it was just a fling, but then it became more, and I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't want to hurt you. But Rachel, she became someone I couldn't let go of. So what? You're in love with her? I asked, the words like acid on my tongue. I couldn't believe I was even asking these questions. How could he do this to me? He didn't answer right away, and for a moment, I thought I might collapse right there. Yes, he said, his voice barely audible. I am. But I never stopped loving you, Anna. I never stopped loving you. My heart broke into a million pieces, each one heavier than the last. He loved me, but he loved her too. He had been leading a double life, loving both of us, betraying both of us. Do you love her more than me? I asked, my voice small. I was afraid of the answer, but I had to know. I had to hear him say it. He didn't respond. His eyes filled with sorrow, and for a moment, I thought he might cry. But I couldn't bring myself to care about his tears. I couldn't bring myself to care about anything, except the fact that everything I thought I knew had been destroyed in an instant. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, I whispered, my voice trembling. I don't know what to say. I don't know if I can ever trust you again. He took a step toward me, but I held up my hand, stopping him. Don't, I said, my voice shaking. Don't come any closer. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, David. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know if I can fix this. He stood there, helpless, unable to speak. I wanted to scream at him. I wanted to throw something at him. I wanted him to feel the pain I was feeling. But instead, I just stood there, frozen, staring at the man who had just shattered my entire world. I need space, I said, finally breaking the silence. I need time to think. I can't do this right now. I can't be here with you. I need to get away. David nodded, tears welling up in his eyes. I'll give you all the time you need, Anna. I'm so sorry. I'll do anything. Please don't leave me. But I couldn't hear him anymore. I couldn't stand there and listen to his pleas. I turned away, walking out of the room without saying another word. I didn't know what the future held. I didn't know if I would ever forgive him. I didn't know if I could ever trust him again. But I knew I had to find a way to live without him. I had to find a way to heal, even if it meant leaving everything behind. I didn't know how to breathe after I left. It felt like the air had been sucked out of my lungs as I walked away from him, from everything. I had told myself that walking out was the first step toward figuring things out, but in that moment, I wasn't sure what I was walking toward. All I knew was that I needed to get away. The villa, the place that should have been our sanctuary, was suffocating me, and so I drove. I didn't know where I was going, just that I needed to be somewhere, anywhere, but not there. As I drove through the winding roads that led away from the villa, I felt the weight of the past few hours pressing down on me. The anger was still there, simmering beneath the surface, but it was overshadowed by the overwhelming sense of betrayal. I couldn't understand it. How could he do this? How could he be so cruel, so reckless, so selfish? After everything we had shared, how could he go and give her a ring? I pulled into a small park, one I used to visit when I needed to clear my head. I parked the car and sat there for a while, staring at the trees and the still waters of the pond. I needed to think, but every time I tried to focus, my mind went blank. I thought about what he had said about how he had never meant to hurt me. I thought about the woman he had proposed to, the woman whose name I didn't even know. But more than anything, I thought about what I had to do next. There was a part of me that wanted to walk away from him forever, to cut ties and never look back. But another part of me couldn't let go. I still loved him, and I knew that if there was even a chance that we could fix this, I had to find out if it was possible. Could we start over? Could I learn to trust him again? My phone buzzed on the seat beside me, and I flinched at the sight of his name. I hadn't answered his calls, hadn't even looked at his messages. But I knew that if I was ever going to have a chance at moving forward, I had to face him. I took a deep breath and picked up the phone. "Anna!" His voice crackled through the speaker, his tone broken. I don't know what to say. I can't stop thinking about what happened. Please, just listen to me. Let me explain. I pressed my lips together, unsure of how to respond. What was there to explain? I had already seen enough. I had heard enough. His betrayal was clear. "David, I don't know what I'm supposed to say either," I replied, my voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know what to feel. I don't know what to do." "Please, Anna," he pleaded. "I know I messed up. I know I've hurt you. But I swear I love you. I never meant to hurt you, I swear." I closed my eyes, feeling the tears build behind my eyelids. How could I still love him after everything? How could I even look at him and not feel like I was suffocating? "I don't know if I can forgive you," I whispered. "I don't know if I can ever trust you again." There was silence on the other end of the phone, and for a moment I thought he had hung up. But then his voice came through again, quieter now, more defeated. "I understand. I really do. I just need you to know that I'm not giving up on us. I'll do whatever it takes, Anna. Please just give me a chance." I didn't answer him. I couldn't. My mind was a whirlwind of emotions, anger, sadness, confusion, but most of all, hurt. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know if I could go back to him, to the man who had shattered everything I thought was real. "I'm not ready to make a decision yet," I finally said. "I need space, David. I need time to figure this out. I need to understand if this is something I can move past." "I understand," he said softly. "Take all the time you need. But please, just know that I'm here. I'll wait for you." The phone went silent after that, and I sat there for a while, not knowing what to do next. I thought about leaving, about getting away from it all, but I didn't know where to go. I didn't know if running was the answer. I just wanted to escape the ache in my chest, the pain of knowing that everything I had trusted had been shattered by the man I thought I loved. The next few days were a blur. I stayed at Emily's, talking to her about everything, about the betrayal, about the confusion I felt. She listened without judgment, offering her support, but even she couldn't offer any answers. How could she? How could anyone? As I sat there, I kept thinking about the woman David had given the ring to. Her face kept flashing in my mind. Who was she? How long had this been going on? And most importantly, why didn't I see it? How had I missed all the signs? By the third day, I couldn't stay away from the villa any longer. I needed answers. I needed to face him, to look him in the eye and demand the truth. If we had any chance of moving forward, I needed to know everything. I couldn't live with this uncertainty. When I arrived back at the villa, everything felt different. It was the same place, the same house, but now it felt foreign, like it wasn't mine anymore. How could it be? How could I walk through those doors, knowing that it had been a place of betrayal? David was waiting for me in the living room when I walked in, his eyes filled with remorse. He stood up as soon as he saw me, his hand shaking slightly as he reached for me, but I stepped back before he could touch me. "Please, Anna, let me explain," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I never wanted to hurt you. I never meant for it to get this far. I don't know how it happened. I was weak, and I didn't know how to stop." I crossed my arms over my chest, looking at him, searching his face for any sign of the man I had married. But all I saw was a stranger, a man who had betrayed me, a man who had kept secrets from me for so long. "How long, David?" I asked quietly, my voice steady, though I could feel the tears building again. "How long has this been going on?" 2 years, he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. 2 years of lies, 2 years of hiding it from you. I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know how to fix it. But I love you, Anna. I swear I do. 2 years, I repeated, the words bitter on my tongue. 2 years, and you've been hiding it from me the entire time. And you think I can just forgive you for this? For betraying me like this? I don't know if you can, he said softly, his voice breaking. I don't know if I can ever make up for what I've done. But I swear I'll do whatever it takes. I'll prove to you that I love you. I'll do anything to make it right. But I didn't know if I could believe him anymore. The words meant nothing. He had already shown me who he was. He had already shown me how far he was willing to go to keep secrets, to live a lie. How could I ever trust him again? I need time, I said, my voice breaking. I need space to figure out what I want, what I need. David nodded slowly, his eyes filled with a mix of relief and sorrow. I'll give you all the time you need, Anna. I'll wait for you. But please know that I love you. I turned and walked away from him, not looking back. I didn't know what the future held. I didn't know if I could ever forgive him, if I could ever move past this. But I knew one thing for sure. I couldn't stay in this life, in this lie. I had to find out who I was without him. I had to find my own way.